Good afternoon, Keepers of the Cash. Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy here. We're here with Savage Saturday, episode 158. We're doing something fresh, something new with it today. We are going to recommend a budget sword and sorcery series for you to read. Something you can pick up that won't break the bank, that won't empty the wallet, but will give you a quality read if you are a fan of the sword and sorcery genre. Now, today, that highlight is going to be on the Sword of Sorcery from DC Comics that feature Farford the Barbarian and the Grey Mouser, both created by Fritz Lieber. Now, their first appearances are listed weird. It's a whole Hulk 180, 181 issue. In issue number 201 of Wonder Woman, we get them, and I'll show you that panel too, on the very last panel of that comic. They show up there, and no speaking part, and some sources list this as their first appearance. Most sources list issue of Wonder Woman 202 as their first appearance, as they have speaking roles. They're integral to the story, and they are throughout the entire comic from page 1 to the final page. So it's for you to decide what you consider a first appearance. Is it that little cameo at the end of Wonder Woman 1 where they're both in frame and you can see them but they don't speak? Or is it in issue 202 where they're throughout the whole story, have speaking roles, and are major players in the storyline? Both of those issues you can get from anywhere from $8 to $30, depending on where you shop. So they're affordable first appearances, and it's something you can add to your collection at not a great expense. If you shop around, you will get them cheaper. All right, you don't always have to buy the first thing you see listed in the $25 to $30 range. Be diligent. They'll come to you at a good price. So those first appearances are affordable, but those aren't what I'm asking you to buy today. That's just some additional information from me to you. What I am telling you that you should sink your money into and buy if you want to read some good sword and sorcery is Sword of Sorcery. This is issue 1 from DC Comics. All right, and this is, again, a series that features Farford and the Grey Mouser, created by Fritz Lieber. And in this one, the story title is called The Price of Pain, Ease. And this is adapted by Denny O'Neil from a Fritz Lieber story. And we have cover art here by Mike Kaluta, pencils by Howard Chaykin, and inks by Krusty Bunkers. Now, a lot of places, retailers online will have this issue by itself listed as $9.99. You can find it cheaper. You can find it for $5 and below if you're shopping and you're looking around. You can mostly find it in local LCSs really cheap. And you can get a good reader copy of this for $2-3. All right, if you want a near mint copy, that's going to be up in the $10 range in most LCSs. Obviously, we know that when you're shopping online, you gotta use a little common sense and take a good look at the pictures of what they're selling you. But not bad for a number 1 of a title, you know, from I think 1973. That's as old as that. You know, that's crazy, right? So there you go, almost a 50-year-old book. Well, 51 years old. So for pennies, for dollars, a couple dollars, you can't beat the price. And again, inside the art by Howard Chaykin's great. The inks are good. A fun story, and what really sells the Sword of Sorcery tales is the relationship between Farford and the Grey Mouser. Their friendship is what makes this story work, and it's what makes these tales work. So there you go, issue 1. And stay tuned at the end because I'm going to talk about buying these books in a lot, and that is probably the way you're going to want to go. Now, issue number 2, great cover here, and you got a good skull cover. All right, and this is adapted from a story called Thieves' House by Fritz Lieber, and the inside story is called Revenge of the Skull Jewels. We have cover art here by Howard Chaykin, with cover inks by Bernie Wrightson. Again, written by Denny O'Neil, with interior art by Howard Chaykin and inks by Krusty Bunkers. And you can pick this one up for anywhere from 99 cents to $5-6. It is not an expensive book, and well worth the money. And again, it's all about the relationship and the adventures of Farford and the Barbarian and the Grey Mouser. Just two great buddies, a lot of fun. And there is some, there's a lot of levity, but there's also a lot of seriousness to go along with it. So there are stakes and there are things that happen within these tales. And again, a standalone story. Now, as we move forward to issue number 3, we again have cover art by Howard Chaykin. All right, and the story title, this one is called Betrayal. And again, written by Danny O'Neill. And we have pencils inside by Howard Chaykin. And we have 3 credited inkers, Bernie Wrightson, Mike Kaluta, and Walt Simonson. And again, another issue that you can pick up anywhere from 99 cents to $5 online, or check your dollar bins. All these issues you can find in the dollar bins at most LCSs, in most places you shop. So they're not expensive books to buy. So there you go. Great yellow cover, background, and just a fun sword and sorcery book. Next up, we have issue number 4. Another great cover here. And cover artist again is Howard Chaykin. And this has 2 stories in it. So you get 2 stories for the price of 1. How good is that, right? First one's called The Cloud of Hate, adapted by the Fritz Leiber story. And it's written by Danny O'Neill with pencils by Howard Chaykin. And the second story is a story of young Farford, and it's called Prophecy. It's written by Danny O'Neill with art by Walt Simonson. And again, the 99 cent to $5 range on this book. And check your dollar bins. As always, at your LCSs, you will find this title. And last up in this series, issue number 5. We have cover art here by Walt Simonson. All right, and there's 2 stories also in this one. The first story is called The Sunken Land by Danny O'Neill, adapted from the Fritz Leiber story. And we have they're written by Danny O'Neill, of course, pencils by Walt Simonson, and inks by Al Milgram. And the second story is a Gray Mouser solo tale. So the issue before, we had a solo tale of a young Farford, and in this one we have a solo tale of the Gray Mouser. And both tales of them by themselves before they met each other. And the second story is written by George Allen Effinger, pencils by Jim Starlin, and inks by Al Milgram, and it's called The Mouse Alone. Again, this particular book will sell for 99 cents to $5, and you can especially find it, as I keep saying, in all the dollar bins of most LCSs, most comic shops, most flea markets. You will get this title as a bargain. Now, I was speaking to you earlier about lots, buying this as a series. Now, if you're shopping online, you can get this complete series 1 through 5 packaged as a lot for anywhere from $20 to $25, putting it at $5 an issue, which is a good deal. But if you're going to buy them for $20 to $25 for the whole lot, you're going to want to make sure that they're all in good shape. You don't want ratty copies for that price, because the series doesn't command that type of dollar. And if somebody's putting it up at $25 and they're in bad shape, then they're ripping you off. Again, you can find probably all of these together for $10 to $12 in your LCS, depending on condition, of course. But you can get very fine and near mint, all 5 copies for $25 to $30 online. And if you don't want them in near mint shape, then you can usually get them between $20 to $25, a little bit lesser shape. So that's it for this week, guys. A nice, affordable series that you, as sword and sorcery fans, can sink your teeth into, get 5 good issues of reading, have a lot of fun, delve into these characters that are buddies, what makes them tick, what trials and travails do they go through, and what journeys are they on. Every issue is an adventure. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Have you read this title? Are you interested in getting it now that you've heard about it, if you haven't read it? But that's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, keep it casual.